Welcome everyone to the Reading Writing Corner. I'm your host Leanne, and for this non-spoiler part of the review, well, all of the review, but also non-spoiler part is starting now. We're going to be doing Mr. Murder by Dean Koontz. If you've not been here before, pull up a seat, sit down, and let us go over this review. And if you've been here before, you know the drill. This is actually a standalone. There is no series to it. Now about the book. A thriller with a surprising twist to it. What made me read this book? It was a thriller, and I had enjoyed the previous Dean Koontz thriller, The Husband, so I thought maybe I was going to enjoy this one. But I didn't as much. So, the blurb. A big house, a beautiful wife, 2 happy and healthy children. It's a nice life that writer Martin Stillwater has made for himself. He can't shake this feeling of impending disaster. One bad moment on an otherwise fine day has put Marty on a collision course with a killer, a man with a mere shadow of an identity, who is desperately searching for something more. Martin's home, Martin's family, Martin's life. Alright, my blurb. Marty was a family man that had a wild imagination that allowed him to write murder books with ease, but something happened that changed everything for him one day. There was someone or something that called to him in a different way that could lead to danger. Boom, boom, boom. The setup of the characters was done well, leaving people curious as to why the book's called Mr. Murder and what the 2 perspectives that were going to be about. The motives were unfurled further into the book and became more clear as you read on. The character's reaction to the situation was how I imagined someone coming into my life trying to claim it for their own would be like. The genre is considered to be thriller. Did this live up to my expectation? Not really. I did not enjoy it as much as I thought I would. I sort of softened at the book, but I went to reading the ending just to see how it ended, and so that way I could write a better review for you guys. So there's a lot of stuff in here that I did not read. I skimmed a lot of it because I was just like, it's just not as thrilling as I thought it would be. Didn't captivate me, but it might you. Which character did I relate to most? Surprisingly, to the little 10-year-old, I think it was, Charlotte, for liking weird animals and being a messy kid. Every kid is messy, so it's kind of cute. Which secondary character stood out the most? Paige, because of how loving she is of her family and quick to believe her husband over others. And she was a very defensive person for her family. What was more important, the characters or the plot? The plot was important. It was what drove the characters forward, not the other way around. There are multiple voices and it did not affect my reading. Should you go and read this story? Yes, if you enjoy a thriller that gives away the game. Just because I didn't like it doesn't mean you won't. So, if you think I deserve a like, comment, or even a lovely subscription, why don't you drop it down below as you vamos from the non-spoiler part of the review. Because if you stay, you're going to be spoiled. That's all I gotta say on that matter. Okay, the characters in this book that you meet are Martin Stillwater, a novelist that writes for a living. He will do anything to protect his family. In the end, they had to go underground and change their name. He became John Galt. And they called him Mr. Murder in a People's magazine, and it made him look creepy and terrifying, and it wasn't even really the way he was. He was a happy-go-lucky kind of guy who just loved writing mysteries. Paige Stillwater, a child psychologist, she believed Marty about everything, and when she went undercover, her name became Ann Galt. The thrilling part of it was they were trying to escape the man who always found them, even though they never said where they went. Charlotte Stillwater, a child that loved to collect weird pets and keep a messy room. Her new name became Rebecca Vanessa Galt. Emily Stillwater, a child that seemed more mature for her age because of the way she acted. Her new name became Susie Laurie Galt. Now here's a really weird part of all this. Alfie. He is a clone of Marty that was conditioned to know certain things and do certain things by an organization called the Network. He was actually a clone. He had no real name or identity. He felt something pull him to the Stillwaters' home and realized that he could take over Marty's life because they looked just alike. He was made to have regenerative abilities that allowed him to not be down for long and made it almost impossible for him to be killed. He also went rogue. He was killed by Drew and Carl. Now, Drew also works for the Network. He realized that the Stillwater family knew about Alfie and believed that they should be killed along with it, saying that maybe Martin went crazy, killed his whole family, and then killed himself. He had no qualms about killing innocent children. And he, of course, was the one that actually ended Alfie's life. Carl Clocker worked for the network in order to bring it down. He saved the Stillwater family from being killed by Drew, because he killed Drew after Drew killed Alfie, and gave them new identities to hide them. Well, he also went undercover to hide himself and to destroy the network from the inside, because that's what his plan all along. There are several POVs within the story, and those were Marty, Alfie, though you do not get to know that until way later in the book, Charlotte, Carl, and Drew. My favorite character was Emily. She was unique in how she saw the world as a child, asked a lot of grown-up questions, and accepted the world a lot more than most children do. My most disliked character was Drew, because he did not care about lives lost while protecting the network and everything they did. It was told in chronological order with appropriate language for the genre. The foreshadowing was breathed in the beginning as both Alfie and Marty said the same line, even if Alfie went further with the "I need" line. Marty said it for 7 minutes. I need. And Alfie's like, I need a life. I need Martin Stillwater's life. So yeah, that was really creepy. The suspense was real. It was deep. Where was not named Alfie going? Why did he feel the need to go? Why did Marty repeat those words for 7 minutes? Will they live or die? The Stillwater family. The background was plain enough to understand for the readers, even if you have to read about halfway into the book to get a clear picture of it. The title of the book meant that Alfie was the real murderer and Marty would just wrote stories, because Alfie was Mr. Murder. He murdered real people, and I mean, like, he sat there and had some naughties with women and killed them afterwards, because he just, how he was programmed. The cover of the book is just a single snowflake for me. There's probably different versions, which you'll see up in the corner here as throughout the book. I mean, the review. What stood out as memorable was that a group of people were able to make a killer clone out of donated blood, because that's how they got Marty's DNA, was through the donated blood. Maybe they thought Marty died, and that's why they used it. Maybe that was the mistake they made. Who knows? My favorite passage from My favorite passage from the story is, I did not have one. That's it. I did not have a favorite passage from the story. But I did have a favorite quote now. Well, if I can't be Bob, Emily said, then I want to be Susie Laurie. And everyone has to always use both names. Never just Susie. She really, really knew what she wanted. What I thought about the ending of the book? Well, the Stillwater Gaults never did come out of hiding, even when they received that book about the clone rebellion that was probably written by Carl. It was most likely not safe for them to do so, because maybe the network was still around in a different way, or maybe that was just a way of letting the world know that, hey, there's something going on that you need to investigate. I feel bad that the lives were uprooted forever. It feels a little unresolved for me, because you don't get to see that true happily ever ending. I mean, sure, they live happily ever after, but they live happily ever after under different names for the rest of their lives. I don't necessarily call that happy. What did the book remind me of? The Husband, but not as good as The Husband. The Husband was better. It was a better thriller. Maybe because it was shorter, or it had less going on in it, but maybe that's why it was good. But yeah, it was just better. This was not. This book, as you know, is a standalone. I rated it 2 because I just couldn't get into it. I tried. I thought I read it before, but maybe I didn't. Maybe I DNF'd it back then too, because I don't see how I read through it. And I don't even remember anything that happened in it either. So that should have given me another clue that maybe I DNF'd it. So if you think I deserve a like, comment, or even your lovely subscription as you got this far into the video, you could drop it down below. I will see you next illusion.